G'day everyone, my name's CautiousPancake and welcome back to my Aska playthrough of the new Seaborne Raiders update. Now that we've got iron tools thanks to our metalworker and carpenter extensions, there's still lots of work to be done in solidifying the workflows within the village, as well as lots more villagers to bring in to continue expanding our production. So let's get started today by heading out and getting some extra Jotun blood to continue our expansion. Okay, that's a good sort of set of Jotun blood. You can start thinking about heading back, except, hello Mr. White. Oh, a 3-shot. That's the nice part of having the new iron tools, even though we're using the woodworking axe for combat. There we go, the start of day 17. But those iron tools really do start to do a number on the enemies. And hello. We've got a new location discovered, the White Shipwreck, which is why there's so many of them around. So might as well help ourselves to these. That gives us a little bit of melee combat experience, a bit of skinning experience, some of the bone fragments that we need for arrows, until we start making all iron arrows at least anyway, and some extra Jotun blood if we're lucky. But apparently I can't carry, so we'll need to do an inventory check in a sec. Let's take care of this guy first. And the good part is we're pulling more in as we do the skinning. Let's grab the bone fragments and let's get rid of some of the small stones that we don't really need. Take Jotun blood over stones any day. I'm sure there's plenty of stones still at the mine. No blood from him. There's some more Jotun bloods over in the distance. Here's one of the, I don't know, boss fragments. I don't know what you really call them. If you destroy them, it will bring in a boss to fight, and we are in no way, shape or form ready for that. We need to really do some work on our armour, and probably even our weapons a little bit before we start thinking about boss fights. They really go to town on you if you take them on early. And while it might be interesting to have a look at some of the death mechanics, let's maybe not go into that just yet. Alright, back in town, let's get our next villager. Who have we got here? A hunter and a farmer. Resolve. Good mental fortitude and less sleep required. I'll take you, thank you very much. You'll be a good long-term addition. Hopefully you'll get some skills that we can use. Everybody's lining up for their morning grub. And let's put those bone fragments away. Actually, we'll pop them in here, because that's where we need them for the arrows. And it's actually something I was thinking about. One of the reasons that we might have been struggling with the arrow creation is that whilst we do have bone tips in here, I do wonder whether the villagers can even get to it. Because of that large chunk of land, they might not see it as accessible. So what we can potentially do is try and flatten out this chunk of land a little bit. Might not let us particularly well, given that it doesn't like terrain flattening right next to created buildings. So worst case, we could have to potentially remake the hunter's hut. But hopefully we can just sort of knock this down a little bit, make it a little bit more usable. It's kind of getting there, it's not great. Let's give it another shot. If we just sort of do it this way, I don't think that's going to do anything. We kind of need it just a little bit closer, but where it's still green and overlaps with a little bit. There you go, we've taken the edge off a bit. Can we still bring this down just a little bit? Oops, kind of. It's kind of smoothing it out. Yeah, that should kind of do. Now we can walk up to it and use it. So hopefully the villagers will see that as an option that they can get to and take the bone fragments out of the hunter's hut. Next, let's go check on our mine just to see how things are going and make sure that our production is still running. We need that metal flowing to the bloomery. And you're not happy? What are you not? Storage. So you're not happy about the storage being full. And it sure is full. Everything's full from the look of it. Big rocks, little rocks, and metal. Let's just check how things are inside, because obviously if we fix up that, you're going to run straight in, and sure enough, there are crawlers in here. There's also those boss skeletons here as well. We don't really want to break them just yet, because we don't want to do boss fights. Crawler spawn is not too hard to take out. Lost a little bit of health, but not too bad. The other thing we should probably start thinking about is knocking out these eggs. We don't really need the stuff from in them from a harvest point of view, although you do get some interesting things. You get here a maggot and some fertilizer and some resin. The maggots there, whoops, I hate that. I meant to just hover over it, but basically they're good for a little bit of meat if you want to use them like that, or you can eat them raw apparently. You can give yourself a bit of a trip, which is why it looks like it's sweating or raining indoors at the moment. Next up, we need to get ourselves a warehouse. Here we go. It's a big building, so we're going to have to work out where we can sneak it in. Something that's kind of level, but has room for both the extensions, like, there we go. If we pop that in, that should flatten things out. We can bring it down, and potentially we can flatten ourselves out a little bit afterwards after we've got this height set, just to make it look a little bit better. So we'll level out this to ourselves, like that. And then if we want to make it look good for the extension, we can just drop that in, like maybe over here, and then stretch it out. And that should just make the extension sit on top properly at the same height, rather than sort of be pushed down into the ground, potentially a little bit. Not really necessary, but just makes it hopefully look a bit better. We could also potentially see if we can extend the road all the way. I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it between the bloomery and the charcoal coal maker kind of guy. Kind of works, but not really. No spot that's going to be all green, unfortunately. Maybe we can do one block at a time. Nope. Oh, here's Ivar. Take a look at you in a minute, buddy. I just want to see if we can do this road, but oh, I've got one green spot. No, it's gone. I'll add that one. We'll do it one block at a time if we have to. Anyway, set that back to default, and Ivar is here. It's got those two. Particularly fond of sunny days. Heavy hitter. No proficiencies. Okay. So you're not particularly good at anything, so maybe you can go straight in here and help us with our metal production pipeline. Put you straight to work in the bloomery. We're running out of arrows again. Always out of arrows. Oh, and we need to get another villager in. Right, let's get that moving. Halfton, Night Shadow. We don't want the ones that work in darkness until we want to have, you know, a day shift and a night shift and 24/7 production, in which case those people are useful, but for now it's just a bit of an extra complication that we don't need. Oh, so we're out of rakes for all of the farmers, and we've got a pack of smokers arriving. So why are we short on tools? This shouldn't be a problem. Sticks. We're short on sticks again? Why are we always short on sticks now? That is the question. We've got thatch lying around out here. Don't know what Lumberjack's been up to. He's supposed to collect that and take it back to base, not just leave it on the ground. Something weird happening there. I haven't seen before, but that's okay. Not sure if that's something I've done. I'm not sure about why we're so short on sticks. Unless it's potentially because I crafted a whole lot of fences and put them around the outside of the base. Maybe I've put up too many at once and they're focused fully on creating the fences rather than leaving some of the sticks for the crafters. Okay, after clearing out some inventory space, if we come back here, there's no more sticks available. They're gone, but there is a farmer over there with a rake now, so that's good. They did use it for its intended purpose and made a rake. So it's not all of the rakes we need, but at least they're sort of productive again for the moment. The smokers are leaving. I never even saw where they were, so hopefully they didn't cause too much damage. Just checking that we've got everything running the way we want it. Got a long stick now that we can finish the repair. And we can also potentially finish off the warehouse. At least the first part of it. Nope, there is only one part of it, okay. That's convenient. Out of stamina. You can finish it then. Thanks. Okay, so here's our warehouse. Whilst we could improve it to add extra structures and extra workers, as well as expand it. For now, we probably just need a little bit of extra storage. And the storage that I want is the metal storage. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of different options depending on what it is that you want to keep more of. But we want the, there it is, ore and bloom storage. So this will just add an extra little bucket. You've got to build it while you're standing inside the warehouse. If you're standing outside, it won't work. But if we make that, just needs a little bit of rope and sticks. You need hammers again. I thought I left one on the tool rack. I was going to say you can have mine, but you probably just need your own. And I'm going to be short sticks again. Alright, well we kind of need you productive over there in the bloomery. So once again, we'll just dash out and grab some sticks, because we also need those to finish the metal storage. So let's grab a few of them and then head back. Alright, first lot go into the metal and ore storage. And there we go. Ore and bloom storage is done. You've got a hammer. We need to find the other bloomery worker and give them a hammer. Otherwise, we could just craft one up ourselves, craft up a rake, and pop them both over there in case someone needs them. Alright, there's already a hammer there, so there's two there now, which is fine. I was going to say keep one for me, but I've already got one equipped. So that's all good. They'll use them up eventually. And I might as well get rid of that axe as well, now that I've got the iron axe. Okay, since it's night time and everybody's gone to bed, let's do a little bit of wood chopping, just to keep the stacks ready for the craftsman over in the carpentry station. Ooh, and here's Halfdan. He is a stone cutter, big health pool, doesn't like wet, and a veteran, so good at stone harvesting and not much else, which isn't really what we need right now. Not short, or not desperate for stone cutters, so let's just see who we got. Builders, we've got a few builders at the moment. Kara needs to go to the woodcutter's house once that's finished. Sven could be a farmer. Brag is at the farm already, but doesn't actually have a farming proficiency, so could be moved. So yeah, I'm not sure where exactly is the best place to put Halfdan for right now, but we need someone for the warehouse, and I can't think of anything better that we need you for right now. We can always move you later, but for now you can make sure that we're getting things brought back from the mine. Particularly, you'll bring back the ore and you'll stash it in there, as well as anything that's on the ground. You'll also take the iron blooms and pop them in that storage, which is where the crafters can come get them. So we're a little bit far away, to be honest, from the crafting to make that perfect. But for now, given that it's all sort of roads between them, the villagers should be able to run back and forth relatively easily. As always, need to make sure that we've got people assigned to huts to sleep in. And we don't have room for Halfdan, which means we need to add some beds to this one. We'll also add in a firewood storage, because winter is coming fairly soon, in 5 days in fact. So let's have that ready so that they've got plenty of firewood for the winter to keep themselves warm at night. Might as well steal all of the thatch and see if we can make up these beds as quickly as possible. So that's a couple of the beds done. Let's just now, actually we should just assign someone. Halfton now also has somewhere to sleep, and we've got one spare bed currently. We can maybe leave the others for the villagers to finish off. Although there's plenty of thatch just kind of sitting here. We might as well just pick that all up rather than waiting for it to decay. Materials left on the ground do decay slowly over time, so you're better off making sure that they're in storage where they won't. Okay, that's one more bed done, and just a few sticks needed for the last one. Pop the rest of the thatch back. Someone will need that in a bit. Okay, can't bring in another villager without going to get more blood. So for now, we need to work out how we can finish off the woodcutter's hut and finish off the repairs that we need to do. So I'll use this one long stick just to finish off the repairs on the coal maker. And there's the coal maker all fixed up. Now, it might be just time for a little bit of inventory management. So let's just do that, and then we'll see where we're at afterwards. Now, something I noticed whilst doing the inventory cleanup is that we seem to have accumulated an awful lot of fibre somewhere along the way. So I'm going to actually just spend a bit of this to make up a bunch of linen and a bunch of linen thread as we increase our crafting, and see if we can make ourselves a bit of extra clothing. As I said, winter's about 5 days away, 4 days away I think now, or at least it will be shortly, so we might as well make sure that we've got, there's nothing on the racks that we can use already. So let's see what we can make for ourselves. A thick linen hood sounds good. Cold resistance 84. Some leather scrap gloves. We might just need some leather scraps to make that. Actually, that just might do us for the moment. So I might just pop this back into storage for the other crafters to use. And if they don't use it, we'll make something else with it ourselves in a bit. Okay, looks like someone's left a single wooden plank on the ground here, so I might as well take that and then drop it as I fall off there, but pick it back up again and we will pop that in the woodcutter's house. Still need 2 more of those and 4 wood shafts. So I think we're still waiting on that, and we've been waiting a while, so we might just have the priority set a little bit wrong. So let's have a quick look at how we can fix that up. You can see we've got them all queued up, and planks and wood shafts are actually at the top. So they should be working on them pretty quickly unless they're blocked by something. So what I might do is, everybody's assigned to everything currently. So what I'm going to do is just set Boulder and Sigrid as our carpenters. Take Bo off, but then take Boulder and Sigrid off all of the metalworking. So Bo can do that himself. He's the main craftsman. And we'll leave Boulder and Sigrid doing all the carpentry stuff. We can always add, also now that we've got both, there were some tools that we didn't have originally that need both the carpentry station and the metalworker. So let's add in crude iron pickaxe. We don't really need an iron hoe or the rake. They're not essential, but we can add them in later if we need. Same kind of with weapons. We could go for battle axes. They do a little bit more damage than the farming varieties, but not a huge amount that we need to prioritize them just yet. Really keen to get the large crude two-handed axe, but we need the improved metalworker for that. And you can see there they've already started adding more planks to here, so we might as well just take one of them and run that down. It looks like they've also done, oh there you go, they've done all 4 of the wood shafts. So I think reassigning those priorities has already paid off big time. Now the builder there might be going to grab that last wood plank that we need. There we go. Finally finished our woodcutter's house. That felt like it took a long time. So the first thing we want to do is assign Kara away from being a builder, since you are a woodcutter, you can join there, now that we can have 3 assigned to the woodcutter's house. So I'll spend a bit of time just poking things around the villages and getting things moving. There's been a little bit of shortage on coal, so one of the things that I do want to do is just make sure that our lumberjacks are out getting everything that they can out and around near the village. And one of the things that I noticed is that there's a little bit of a gap here, potentially nearby, where I've been chopping down the occasional tree, where our woodcutters might not be getting everything that they need. So I'm just going to add in an extra wood harvest marker here, and then continue on further out to look for some more Jotunblad. And as you can see here, there's lots of deer running around, and this is where it's actually also a good idea to add in an extra hunter's marker, because that will head them out to where it looks like they like to hang out and spawn. So whacking one down when you see a bunch of animals that you want your hunters to go look for is always a good way to give them something to go and hunt. There we go. Alright, let's go find that Jotunblad. There we go. We finished the last swing on a rock and broke the axe as we did it, so that's obviously the time to stop. You see the little marker there, the red ray of light? I've been adding in markers as we go to sort of show where there's extra Jotunblads. As you can see, there's 3 right around here, so I'm going to move the marker just over here to remind myself where to come back to get the next lot. And hello, we've also found an old ruins with a spare Jotunblad sitting outside. Don't think there's usually more than one. Yeah, I think it's just the one Jotunblad. There's nothing else interesting to do at these sort of old ruins, at least that I'm aware of. Someone shout out if that's not correct. But for now, let's head back to base. We'll get ourselves another villager. Here we go. Load them in. What have we got? Chill sensitive, doesn't like the cold. Good inner strength, and doesn't like the wet. Okay, so neither of you are perfect. Let's take Inga and see how we go with her. Okay, one thing I've noticed as we move around the village is that our cooking station is often full of food by the end of the day, but then kind of empty of food once the villagers get into it. So one of the things that I want to make is extra food storage. Just going to pop that there so that the warehouse guy will bring over the cooked food and store that there so that the villagers can get access to that. It might be a little bit far away from where the housing is in the morning. They do need time to get over to it, so we might need to rethink that down the track, but for now that'll be okay. And potentially we could add some stick storage as well. Not sure if we actually need that right now or not. Maybe firewood storage for the winter. There's always so many options. And generally you only need it if you're starting to run out of it, or you want to move it to a different location like we did with the metal ore. So for now, that's probably all we need. The other thing I did want to do though is get back into making ourselves some clothes for when the winter gets here. We want to make sure we're warm enough. So let's make up again a whole bunch of linen and linen thread. Now that we have that, we can make up the gloves and the simple leather boots. They've all got a decent cold resistance and a little bit of armour. Nothing great. We can also make ourselves... No, we can't make the shirt because we don't have the cured hides. We can make some flimsy cloth pants. We're short of more linen cloth for that one. So we need pants and a shirt, really. Let's just see if we can make ourselves a little bit more. That should do. And we need not the thick, we need the flimsy pants and the flimsy shirt. That'll do for now. There we go. Got ourselves some basic linen and a little bit of leather gear. So it looks like our reprioritization has sort of paid off. We've got some wood shafts, some wood beams, some planks and some posts. So setting those two craftsmen to focus on the carpentry certainly seems to have helped, at least from the wood side of things. So that's all looking pretty good. There you go. So Boulder and Sigrid doing well. So the other thing I think we need to do is start to modify our woodcutters' priorities. Firstly, for firewood, I think we need to remove Hedda and Kara from that one and make that a high priority. Ida's the one that we've already got getting our sticks and thatch. Drop down the logs and long sticks to 9. Since there's 18 slots in the storage, we want 50% for the normal wood and 50% for the hardwood. Get Ida as the only one collecting sticks and thatch and prioritizing them as high along with the firewood. Drop down the hardwood. We can leave that for Ida and Kara. They're going to focus on that as medium priorities, but Kara is not going to be focusing on sticks and thatch and firewood, so she should be the one going to get all of our hardwood sort of by default. There's Inga. She's joining us. We'll go have a look at her in a second, but I think these priorities are looking good. Should mean that we get more priority on the hardwood from Kara. The bark's fine. Everybody's sort of looking at that as a medium. No one's looking at fibers because we've got farms for that, so I think we're all good. Okay, what's Inga got? Daylight devotion, stout constitution, resiliency, doesn't like rain. No particular proficiencies, so just a general worker, and I think I know exactly what you need to do. You need to go and work in our original workshop, helping to make clothes. At the moment, you're seeing that, you know, we're sometimes short on rakes, sometimes short on arrows. So having a second worker in there was going to help. And let's also reprioritize. Gertrude can focus on the tools. Also add some more rope now. I think we need more than 5 rope. We've got plenty of fiber. And Inga can focus on just the clothes. So we'll switch all these out. Still keeping some of the older tools there, just as a backup in case the iron tools aren't available. I'll leave them maybe both on the arrows. Just reduce the volume as well, just so that they're always working on them and can move on to the next things. So there should always be a small supply of arrows. And I'm also going to add in the longbow. Now that we've got the carpentry station, we'll make that. Well, who wants to make that? Inga? Gertrude? Maybe both? I don't know which one's best there, but let's bring that up and add that. I don't really want the flimsy bows anymore, so I'll pop that there. Yeah, we'll make it Gertrude only, since Inga's going to be just focused on the linen. So we'll take Gertrude off those. Kind of doesn't matter because it's below all the other priorities, but doesn't hurt to have them just sort of focused on their roles, I don't think. We'll see how it goes anyway. And there we go. All the prioritization done. I don't think there's anything else. Actually, there is one more thing we need to add, and that's the cured leather hides. We've been avoiding those or forgetting about those, so let's add them in. Kind of like linen, we're going to start to need that so that we can make some of the stronger leather items. That should do. Back at the second workshop, I'm just also going to add in some extra tasks. I think the main thing we need now is a metal hammer, just for all of the ironworking and metalworking that we're doing at the bloomery and at the metal workshop. We're going to need that as something that's going to last a bit longer than the wooden hammer. Well, we seem to have run out of coal for the bloomery. These still need some, so we're obviously short of some firewood. You know what that means. It's time to chop down some more trees. Oh, and there's a good sign. Kara's chopping down hardwood trees, collecting them, and does have the iron axe. So we know that that prioritization change we made there is working. She's going to get what we need and popping it in the woodcutter's house. Meanwhile, creating a little bit of firewood, as well as making the logs and the long sticks for the hardwood versions anyway, and getting more skill ups in wood harvesting. Now I know everyone's standing around looking annoyed at me because they've all got exclamation marks on their heads, but what I want to do next is create an armour smith. I could just sort of plonk it down here, and this should then level out the terrain a little bit. Let's see how this looks. Looking alright, but it's created a little lip next to the road which I don't like. I'm just going to dismantle it and then maybe try again, or maybe just level it out first. Now that we've got the right height, I just want to level that out and get rid of this lip next to the road, because I don't want people to have to run over that to get in. Not that I'm actually planning on having a worker in there just yet, but I want the armour smith so that I can make my own armour. Because I'm selfish and I want to be protected, but I don't care about my villagers just yet. So let's put this in here. I've got to put it somewhere where it's going to be nice and flat, but not destroy the road. That looks pretty good. I took a little bit of the sliver off the road, but that looks fine. Let's flatten it out. Whilst all of the construction workers are still mad at me. Or maybe they've headed off to go do some work. Still got no firewood. That's still growing, and let's get somebody else in new. A monk body with a construction worker. I think that's pretty much a default get at this point. We've got plenty of people working crafting roles at the workshop that aren't actually crafters, so, and there you go, that's where all the firewood went, into the coal maker. So that's a new lot of coal coming, which will keep the bloomery folks happy. Okay, production back underway. That's Armory Phase 1 complete. And since this guy is still complaining about not having any stone to harvest, because he's really only got this small area and that one over by the mine, maybe we actually need to put into the warehouse one of the stone storages so that they bring stuff back from the mine. But for now, what we might want to do is create a new one. Let's create a new stone harvest marker. Grab a little bit of fibre. Actually, I've already got plenty of fibre. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Make up some rope. Going to need some for the armory anyway. So let's just use up everything we've got. Throw that in there. And let's head off and make a stone harvest marker. This looks good. Let's throw that down. Mark it up. It's just a little bit out of our base. Overlaps a little bit, but that's fine. And you know, you can see plenty of rocks over in the distance where they'll collect it. We're actually short of sticks now. I can't see any, but we can apparently one-shot the small fir trees. That's a good way to get it done. So let's plonk this down, and that should make our stone gatherer happy. I might as well take one of these back with us, since we need one for the last part of the second part of the armory build. There we go, and just need a log. There we go. Phase 2 of the armory complete. Okay, here is our new armour smith. Keep calling it the armory, but it's technically an armour smith. Got small material storage, medium material storage, a couple of armour racks, and what can we make at the moment? The thick linen gambeson. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but we'll see how that goes. As you can see, 10 linen, 1 cured leather, 4 scraps, an iron plate, and 6 linen thread. Also got some leather caps, one with 60 cold resistance and one with 40 cold resistance. But the most important part is probably going to be the armour on that, not the cold resistance. The cap only has 15 armour, whereas the leather helmet has 50. So you definitely want the helmet. And I need to add over at the workshop, I need to add that iron plate to the crafting. Let's bring that right up just below the main tools that we need, which are the iron axe and the iron draw knife. We need them for the carpentry station and for the loggers. So we'll move that there, but we definitely need that iron plate made so that we can make the armor once it's ready. I seem to be awfully hungry and thirsty. I've been ignoring that for a while, so let's have a couple of meals. There we go. And just a little bit of a top up on the drink as well, and then fill our water flask up. Okay, and here comes our next villager, Jonty. Jonty, what do you got for us? You've got Mighty Vigor, as we knew, good craftsman, small health pool, but eating less, and not a logger. You've got proficiencies in crafting, nice, and melee combat. That's a good combination, good backup job to have if we need you to. And since again we're just trying to get everything happening ready for our armor production, I'm just going to add Jonty in, I think, to the first workshop. I'm not going to mess around with role assignments or anything like that. He can just be across everything, so hopefully just helps with the hammer production, the rake production, as well as the arrows, and then down into the clothing, where we do just need maybe 2 people working on everything, making sure it's all happening, rather than just the one that we've been using. Alright, since it's night time, and we always need firewood, let's knock down a few of these tree stumps. Someone will come get the firewood in a bit. There we go. And actually, how much? Yeah, I've got a bit of storage space, so why don't I do some cleanup for once and actually pick up my own firewood. There's a bit here too. Now I'm full. Ooh, and it's a blood moon. Okay, well, as everybody runs for their lives, I mean, goes to bed, why don't we work out how we're going to do this? Let's drop off all that firewood, because we don't need to be lugging that around. A bit more over here to pick up. The blood moon is coming from this direction, so I guess we can just kind of wait for them to show and continue with the firewood chop while we do. Oh, no, that didn't take long. I can hear them. What have we got? Swordsman and a bowman and another bowman at the back. Ow. Okay, I need to get to them. Ow again. Stun you. Ow. They're knocking me back. I'm out of stamina. This is not good. Let's run away. I mean, strategic retreat. That's what it is. Let's see if we can hide from their line of sight behind these cottages. There we go. We woke up everybody. So now they should come out and beat on the skeletons, which should help us not die. There we go. They've taken care of them. So skeleton archer and Draugr ranger. Not a good combination when I'm running around without a shield. Might have to rethink that strategy in the future, but for now, we'll go with that. Knock you down. Nothing exciting from you. Let's knock down the archer. Ooh, and there's a Draugr arrow, so I'll take that. Thank you very much. We'll be able to use that for study at the Tinker's table. Just help to research new weapons. And I can see another one coming in. Hopefully not another archer. No, he's got a big sword. He's got a big sword. Alright, everybody's playing with swords. Let's get in there then and get some stuns. And completely mistimed the roll, but avoided it anyway. I'm not really looking to go toe-to-toe since I have very little health left. Just need someone else to distract him. There we go. The fence distracted him. Good job, fence. I'm not sure how the fence got aggro, but it did. So I'll take it. And I think there's someone else fighting still over here. Yep. And I get there in time to completely miss. Okay. Good job, villagers. Oh, nothing good from him, just some bone fragments, but there's lots of arrows here. Maybe he stood shooting a bit earlier, or someone else was that I didn't see, but I'll take it. Although the wood arrows could have actually been my archers, but the Draugr arrows, they're definitely not. So just got to keep an eye out for those, pick them up where we can, and there should be our other guy over here. Nope. But there is some metal scraps. just to use that in place of metal ore for smelting at the bloomery. I don't think there's anything else useful over here. Oh, there's another skeleton. Let's go harvest him down. Might get Jotun blood out of it if we're lucky. And here comes the rest. I also noticed there's some extra arrows there and another skeleton body, but I'm just going to kite them around this corner so that I don't have to take them all on together. Come on everybody, wake up please. I should be able to get the stun in, yep. Okay, now they're all up. You're pounding on the campfire. And now dead. Someone's over here going for another bit of fence. They really don't like those fences. And there's the blood moon over. Okay, well, those archers at the beginning certainly did a number on them, but we got there in the end, and there's another Jotun blood. So that should actually make the 5 that we need for the next villager, so that's useful. Don't need to go and do a mining trip tonight, because we're probably going to need to do some resting and get our health back up. So let's do some cleanup, grab everything we need, and then maybe take a nap. Okay, so out of all of that, we ended up with 13 of the Draugr arrows, a few bits of firewood that we can put away, and just the 3 Jotun blood, but that's enough to get us the next summon in, who's got a green thumb, which we don't really need more farmers, so I'll take Bodil. Even with the winter resilience, although that's still pretty good. Maybe green thumb will come in handy. We'll take Astrid actually, you never know when you need more farmers. And now that everybody else should be waking up soon, it's time for me to grab that nap. Okay, villagers arise. I do love how they all get up together. So we might as well get up too. We're not fully healed by any stretch, but at least the warning thump thump is gone, so we can deal with that. Hopefully not get into too many fights today. I'm going to take all this firewood over though, see if we can get a new round of coal underway so that the bloomer is not held up, but it looks like there's one just finished, so we can't stack the new stuff in just yet. Need to unload all this coal, take some over straight to the bloomery and put it in the coal storage here. That way they're not held up, and we could potentially maybe put something in the warehouse. Let's look at coal storage. Where's that gone? Here it is. Just a little basket. Oh, see, you can't run it off the warehouse, but we can pop it just in the corner there. There we go. Can't put the coal in just yet. We need the building materials. Someone else can finish that off for us though. The other place that you can put coal is over here in the coal maker storage. There we go, pop some straight in there, and how much more have we got? Still a bit. But there we go, now we can put all the firewood in. Now that we've made space, that one's full, that one's full. Actually, if we go to the workshop, there should be some rope here. Grab that. Don't have the sticks on me, I know, but let's just pop that in there. And then you know what we could do? We could actually just dump the coal and everything into the small item storage here. That way we don't have to worry about it. Can't put the metal scraps in there. And maybe the fertilizer doesn't need to be. Can just pop the fertilizer on the ground over here, I reckon. And they'll come and pick that up and use that for the plants. And you know what? Since I'm really getting tired of waiting for my leather hides, because I want to make this armour, I might just come in here and move that priority up. As you can see, we've still got no cured hides, so that priority change is hopefully going to do the trick. Alright, but while we're waiting for all those cured leathered hides to get made, let's go chop down some hardwood, get the logs all happening, because we're always going to need more of them for the next round of buildings. And then hopefully we'll have an iron plate and we'll have some cured leather hides done. There we go. Oh, and here's Astrid. Oh, you've got some interesting skills. I can see that already. So I thought you were going to be a farmer, but you've also got a craftsman skill. Green thumb there. Winter resilience. Not a good logger, but is a craftsman. And good stamina. So yeah, farming and crafting. We could use you as either one of those. Choices, choices. So let's just have a quick look maybe at who's assigned over here. Boulder and Sigrid. Maybe Sigrid, from memory, isn't actually a good crafter and doesn't have any real proficiencies. So let's unassign... Yeah, Sigrid's a gatherer. So let's take out Sigrid and let's add in Astrid. Again, just making sure that we've got people working there that want to work there. And then, of course, we need to add Sigrid into the gatherer. See, she's got 2 stars there. So she's going to work at the gatherer's hut and help bring in the mushrooms. I think it might also be time to upgrade our stonecutter's house. Maybe? Nah. Actually, those resources from the carpentry station are difficult to come by. I think maybe the hunter's house instead. Because from memory we need that for something else. We need it for the smoker pen. And I wouldn't mind having some cute rabbits in the village. Mainly because then we can make some cheese, and that's that. Extra lot of food production. At the moment we're a little bit short. And look, we've got some things on the curing rack. Still not many, only 2, and I'm getting a little impatient. So maybe we should just make our own linen thread. We're running a bit low, but let's just grab a stack, make our own thread, and then maybe make our own hides. There we go. That wasn't so hard, was it? Just jam them all straight in there. We've got 1 cured one. Oh, no, that already made 1. So I've got 2 now. Not sure how many I needed for the armour. We're now short on linen thread. Let's just go double check. What is it that we needed? We've run 1 short of scraps, 2 short of thread, 10 short of linen, and an iron plate. And a partridge in a pear tree, but let's get that. We'll need more fibre. We can get the linen and the linen thread underway. And this is number 10 on the linen. Now let's see about the iron plate. Are you done? You are not done. I am shocked. Why is it so hard? It's the 3rd thing on the priority. Got some hammers though, so you know, giddy up. Let's move it. Let's just try moving it up 1. See if that works. Maybe they're short of blooms. I don't know. Sometimes they just don't seem to want to make the thing that you want. I don't know that that's a bug or anything. I think it's probably my lack of understanding of how to prioritize things properly. So let me know if you think that I'm doing that one wrong. Otherwise, here we go. Let's grab the scraps. We should have now everything that we need other than the plate. So while we wait, we can always speed along the hunter's hut production. Help the builder out by bringing some of these down. And then since we're short on carpentry materials again, let's load up the sled and bring them all over. Alright, as always, got to remember to assign villagers somewhere to sleep. And since that just went to 6 of 6, what else should we build next to it? We need the chieftain's house at some point. We could also look at a longhouse for, you know, a bigger place for villagers to sleep, but it does use a lot of sort of the carpentry materials, whereas the cottages don't. Cottages use more of the basic materials. So let's put in another cottage just here. Ooh, that's gone a little bit higher than I expected on the terraform. I'm not sure I like that. It's offending me, so I'm going to dismantle that, and let's maybe do a quick terrain level out. We can't pick anything up because we're so full of materials for our armour that we want to make, so we'll have to just deal with things on the ground and try and level this out as best we can. There we go. But since we've got no storage to pick up any of this bark, I'm just going to shred it for fibre. Then we'll go into the small item storage, which we do have room for, and we'll always use the fibre for some rope or some linen at some point. It's a little bit slow, but let's chuck it all down to fibre and then we can put the cottage in. Alright, I think that's enough. Let's see if we can slide this in now somewhere good. There we are. And hopefully the terrain doesn't try and pop up like it did last time. Nope, that's good. Flatten out this little corner where it did pop up. So we'll flatten all this out, and then we'll get to making. Here we go. And whack in some stones. I think we might just spend the rest of the evening trying to get this cottage underway. So that's the end of day 20 in the Seaborne Raider update for Aska. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more of my videos in the future. Massive thanks to my patrons for their support, thanks to you for watching, and happy raiding.